How's it going, backpackers? Dave here with Off Grid Limited Backpacking, Hiking, Camping, and Gear. And today's video is going to be all about the pieces of gear that I refuse to compromise on. And what do I mean by that? Well, it is gear that I can go lighter on and I can spend more money on, because usually when you spend a bunch of money on gear, you can generally see that weight come down. But these are I'm gonna try to see how many I actually have here. About 3 to 4 pieces of gear that I definitely will not compromise on, and they are bigger pieces of gear items as well, so you can really see some weight savings in these categories. But let's just jump right into it so that you know exactly what I mean. The first piece of gear that I will not compromise on is going to be my sleeping pad. And you're gonna see for some of these ideas here, it's gonna be about the overall design, or being more comfortable, or I've tried a certain style before and it just didn't work out for me. And the first of which is that sleeping pad. So if you're talking about going super ultra light, right, and shedding the most amount of weight possible, one of the lightest ones that you can get that's out there on the market today has got to be the Thermarest Uberlight. Very low R value. Really just want to take it out during those warmer camping months when you're in the backcountry, and you can't really go much lighter than that. You can get the long and wide version of this pad. It's tapered, it's more of the mummy shape, but it only weighs like 12 ounces. And I think one of the lightest ones, like the short and regular or whatever, is somewhere around like 8 ounces, something really ridiculous like that. However, there are some serious concerns with that pad. I was really toying around that and trying to figure out if I really wanted to get it or not. And two big concerns that I have for that. The first of which is comfort, right? Comfort is king, especially when it comes to your sleep. You have to prioritize that. And I think that has to be like number one over anything else, right? And the horizontal baffle design of the Uberlight, I just don't think will get that done, right? I've heard multiple reports from different people. I don't have any personal experience with the Uberlight, but I've heard that horizontal baffle design on that pad really just doesn't cut it. And then the second biggest thing, and really is like the linchpin, because even if it's not as comfortable, but you still can sleep throughout the night, maybe you'd consider it for the weight savings. But the second biggest thing there is going to be the durability. The overall durability, I've heard from many different people now that the pad leaks, or the material is too thin, something along those lines, where you're getting to a point where the material is just compromised because it's just going past that threshold of just being a little bit too light. The next piece of gear that I'm talking about, actually, I should tell you, which one I'm sticking with as well, right? So the sleeping pad, jumping right back real quick, that is my sleeping pad of choice, or the one that I like, is going to be either the Sea to Summit style, the Etherlight, either the XT or the non-insulated. I have the non-insulated version, which is right around £1, or the Nemo Tensor non-insulated version as well, which has more of that waffle design. The Sea to Summit has more of that dimple design. That just has a better design to alleviate those pressure points and help you sleep more soundly throughout the night. The next piece of gear that we're going to get into is going to be a tent. So kind of going along with that big 3, big 4, I call it big 4. The next piece would be a tent. The only way that I can really see myself saving any weight at this point, I have the Gossamer Gear, the one, so we'll kind of flip it and go in reverse here. And I really like that tent for a lot of different reasons. It has its drawbacks as well, but it is very light and the price point for what you get is also very competitive, I'd say. So that tent all in is somewhere around like 21 ounces for a one-person tent. The only way that I could save really on weight would be at that point a DCF tent. So you got to think Z-Packs, Tarp tent, anybody else, the X-Mid Pro or something like that. All of those tents that are just made out of that material, but it is just insanely expensive. And this is one category where the overall functionality is actually not really in question here. I think if you have that tent and you get that tent, it'll serve you decently well. Most of the ones that, especially like Z-Packs, I think they have the latest one currently that I can think of on the market. I forget the name of it, but it's like just under 14 ounces without the stakes. And that one has a single pole design. I kind of prefer the dual pole design. It's a little bit less claustrophobic on the inside, kind of maximizes your interior space, but it'll serve you well. You know, it's not like it's going to like perform any less or any worse than, let's say, the Uberlite pad would, as far as like compromising materials or anything like that. The only bad thing that I can really say about a tent would be the overall size of the DCF tent doesn't really compact down, so the overall volume is going to be a little bit larger, but most people are willing to take that volume hit in order to save those ounces. So that like 14 ounce tent with tent stakes would be somewhere around 16 ounces. All in with my Gossamer Gear, the one is about 21 and a half ounces. So it's really, you know, that 5 extra ounces of savings, which is going to cost you, you know, somewhere around double the price, $600 something, which I just can't get over at this point in time. I don't think I ever really can in the future either. It's just an exorbitant amount of money to save those few extra ounces. The next piece of gear that I'm going to talk about is going to be my pillow. And a lot of people watching might not even use a pillow when they go out there. They might just use, you know, their puffy and just kind of roll it up in a ball, their clothes or whatever, and use that, which you can definitely do. But if you want some extreme comfort, you got to bring a pillow. And there are a ton of channels that are also repping or pushing like a Trekology 2.0 pillow or any other style of inflatable pillow, the Nemo Pillow pillow, stuff like that. I've bought them all. I've literally got them all. I tested them all, and I just cannot get used to an inflatable pillow. I'm okay on the sleeping pad, but for a pillow, I can't do it. But let me know in the comments down below if you just can't get used to an inflatable pillow either, like I can't. So I go with the Thermarest small compressible pillow. You're definitely taking a weight hit on that as well. I think some of the lightest inflatable pillows are somewhere around like 3 to 4 ounces, whereas my small compressible pillow is like 7.5 ounces on my scale. So it's close to like double the weight. But again, you have to prioritize sleep when you're in the backcountry in order to rest up and be ready and refreshed for the next day. So I can't compromise on my sleep. And that has been the only pillow, literally like the only pillow that has worked for me since I've been backpacking. So can't compromise on the pillow there. The overall price point, I think inflatable pillows are a little bit cheaper there, but you know, the small compressible pillow is somewhere around 20-25 bucks, something like that. So it's not crazy expensive as far as like one jump to the other. And then the last piece of gear is sort of like a category that I'm going to talk about here, and not necessarily just one specific item, but I'm going to say the last piece of gear that I will not compromise on is going to be taking some form of a seat with me, or a chair or a stool, something like that. I definitely have loved that convenience, especially after hiking long miles. You get to camp, and unless you're a thru hiker where you're just going to eat your meal and jump in your tent and go to sleep right away, if you're going to enjoy camp at all, I definitely recommend taking some form of chair or stool or something with you to get you up off of the ground and get off of something that is just like a foam pad or just sitting directly on the ground. It will definitely increase your overall enjoyment when you're out there immensely. I always pack that. It's in my ultra lightweight loadout video, which was like around 10 pounds. It's in every other type of loadout that I will talk about, because I just love bringing a chair and taking a seat when I'm out there. So those things are just a must for me. So even if it's not the full backing of a chair, or it's just a stool, something like a quick option, either as a break on trail or just a way to get my butt up off of the ground, I'm definitely going to go with some form of seat, stool, chair when I'm out there. But that's it for me. That's it for this one. A little bit quicker. I just wanted to shoot a quick video on the pieces of gear that I just won't compromise on in order to hit a certain base weight, or maybe save some money, or any other factor. These are pieces of gear that I really have dialed in, and unfortunately will not make that jump to try and save those extra few ounces. But let me know all about your pieces of gear that you will not compromise on in the comments down below. Show me some love, give me the like, hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed, and remember, if you're headed off grid, make sure you do your research and you make it a safe one. I'll see you guys on the next one.